Good morning, family and friends, and welcome to the Woke Nation. How are you doing today? Wherever you are, I welcome you to us. As usual, encouraging you to live your life, enjoy your life, and have the best of your life because it is yours and it is important to you. And encourage you, the only way you can live the best of your life is through knowledge. Knowledge is the greatest. Knowledge, not love, is the greatest. When you have knowledge, know better and you will live better. But believing in love or believing just like believing in God. God is not real, love is not real. It's emotional thing. It's just an abstract idea that you give power to, you give life to. Without you believing it, it's useless. So I dare to know more. When you know more, you will see, you will begin to understand your nightmares. You begin to understand you begin to understand your dreams. You begin to understand your revelations. You begin to understand your prophecies. Yes, knowledge is the greatest. And at the height of knowledge is the knowledge of self. You have to know yourself. When you know who you are, what they say you are, it is all about you. Without God is useless. With Jesus is useless. Anyone that's still telling you about God and Jesus, just ask them, what can God or Jesus do right now for them or for you? They will only took to vision, revelation, dreams. That's it. They don't have fast. People that lack fast stick with visions, revelations, dreams. But people that have fast prove it. This is it. And perform it. They demonstrate it. You cannot demonstrate faith. You cannot demonstrate belief unless you're a crazy person. And you end up either suffering public shame or sudden death, which is unnecessary. So I want to speak to Christians, and if you still have Christian friends, you can share this with them. I want to talk to them that Christians, you don't know salvation. And I am using your book, the New Testament, to show you that even Jesus should teach you, the Jesus of the Bible teaches you that you African Christians, you don't know the salvation you are preaching. Just as you don't know the God you worship. So welcome to Bible study or morning devotion. In John chapter 4 verse 22, the fictional Jesus said in the Bible, say you worship what you do not know. The reason why you worship what you do not know is because you were not born to worship. And also, the reason why you worship what you do not know is because what you worship does not exist. What you worship is imaginary. What you worship is spiritual. What you worship is religious. What you worship is abstract. It's not real. That thing cannot show up. Remember what he said? He said, you worship what? Not who. If you must worship, it must be who. And if you must be who, it must be you. If you are looking for who to worship, look into the mirror. When you begin to worship yourself, the real God will appear. You will see the real God doing things. But religion wants you to see the real God. They say you should give glory to imaginary God. That when you, the real God, take the glory of your own effort and sources, it provokes the anger of a God, invisible God that cannot solve any of your problem. You or your fellow human beings, which are spirits, solves your problem. God Almighty, not Jesus Almighty, solve your problem. Christians, are you listening? Jesus said, you worship what you do not know. You say he was talking to Samaritans. Of course, Samaritans in the Bible represent pagans. Pagans are people who are worshiping strange God, foreign God, that has no connection with them. Just as Africans are worshiping the God of Israel. Just as the African Christians are worshiping the Jesus of Nazareth. Just as African Christians are worshiping a magic being they nor their ancestors ever seen. Your God that you worship in Christianity, your ancestors know God, and you also know another God. So you worship what you do not know. Because what you do not know is unknown, is not real, is a figment of imagination, is nightmare. You should understand it that it is somebody like you or people like you that made up that concept and gave it to you. In fact, he said you worship what? Not who. Because they say in the beginning of their God, it was Word. And that Word was with God. And that Word was God. Can you understand it now? What you worship is the Word another person made or another people made. That God does not exist. They dressed that Word and gave that Word name. They gave that word Jesus. They gave that word Jehovah. They gave that word Yahweh. They gave that word Allah. And that is the God you African Muslims, African Christians, African Jews are worshiping. You are not worshiping who? If you want to worship who, look into the mirror and worship the who you see there. You cannot see Jehovah in the mirror. You cannot see Jesus in the mirror. You cannot see Allah in the mirror because they does not exist. They don't exist. There is no anywhere. There's no Allah Almighty anywhere. There's no Jesus Almighty anywhere. There's no Yahweh Almighty anywhere. But there is you, mighty you. You are not almighty. We are mighty people. But when we come together, we begin to do things as almighty people. And whatever we determine to do, no God, no Satan, no Jesus, no Allah can stop us from achieving it. As I decided to make this broadcast, no God can stop me. Even though I have poor network, yet no God can stop me. No Jesus can stop me. No Allah can stop me. No devil can stop me. No Satan can stop me. You maybe last night you had nightmares. Don't live in that fear anymore. I want you to know there is no what that people worship there or see in their dreams. The what that you worship does not exist. That's why you do not know what you worship. You do not see what you worship. And it's a shame that at your age, especially if you are up to 40 years old and you are still worshiping what you do not know, but people dress it up and give it a name and give it some authenticity and you say, yeah, it existed or it exists. No. He said, you worship what you do not know. John chapter 4:22. We know what we worship. Do you see the second part of the lie? He said, we know what, not who we worship. But following that statement is a lie. If you know the Bible speaking about the Jews, the Jewish people in the Bible knew not what they worship. In fact, in the Deuteronomy, when they say Moses was addressing them, he told them, remember on the mountain where God appeared, where you hear thunders and see lightnings and fire, he said there was no form. So any Jew who claimed that they know what they worship is lying. Jesus lies according to the Bible. Jesus said, we know what we worship, but you don't know what you worship. Is it not what is still going on? Christians say Muslims don't know what they worship. Muslims say Christians don't know what they worship. The Jews say others don't know what they worship. Others say the Jews don't know what they worship. All they worship is what? Not who. They don't know what they worship, yet they claim that they know what they worship. How do the Jews claim it? The last word there say, for salvation is of the Jews. It's a complete lie. Salvation they created. If salvation is of the Jews, why they were not saved in Germany? It is only in the book that you can see salvation. But in reality, you save yourself. Salvation is of the Lord is a lie. God will save you is a lie. It is you or your fellow human being that will save you. Even a dog can save you in reality. God cannot save you. A living dog is far better than God and Jesus Almighty. No matter the name you call your God, a living dog is better than that God. Help you. A dog can accompany you for hunting and you get meat to eat. A dog can serve as your security and save you from criminals. Scare away those who are coming to harm you. Save for is of the Jews is a lie. Hitler killed millions of them, as they say. Because Jewish people are fake people. People who claim to be what they are not. People who stole from original people and try to pose themselves to pose as original people. They say they are the chosen one. How can you be chosen one when people have been in existence before you came? You are last. You can never be first. You can never be the chosen one. The concept of choosing one is evil. It's against nature. In nature, everyone belongs to nature. There's no choosing one in nature. That's why when they tell you God called them, this one called them, ancestors called them, all those spirituality, religion, they are anti-nature. And that's why they cannot solve any of our problem. See our problem. Yesterday, I attended the Eba Udo in Oga. I see how our people brag of power and all that. I keep telling them one thing or asking them one thing. How about how the government run? If they have these powers, why is the politicians polluting our land, polluting themselves that claim to have power? How can I have power and somebody's over my life? How can I have power and somebody's making life miserable for me or to me, especially with our family? And we think what we are doing when we claim to be spiritual. We think we know what we are doing when we claim to be religious. We think we know what we do when we are living by faith. No, you don't know. You have faith because you lack knowledge. You believe because you don't know. When you know, belief dies. When you have knowledge, faith ends. Faith is fake, and every belief is a lie. Trash them and live your life. If you must worship, know who you worship. You worship. You Christians, you don't know salvation. Salvation, your salvation is your hand. Stretch out your hands like this. This is your salvation is. It's not in God. It's not in Jesus. It's not in heaven. Whatever your hand finds to do, it is common sense. It's a natural order. Do it with your might. You don't need God's might. You don't need Jesus' might. You don't need spiritual might. You don't need religious might. You have your natural might. Greatest. You are a natural being. You are a spirit being. You are eternal being. You are infinite being. You are unchangeable being. You are indestructible being. You are frequency being. You are being, not creature. Wake up. You were born not to live and enjoy your life. The only way you can live and enjoy this your life is through the knowledge of factual truth. When you know it,